Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back here to another edition of the Fishing Teacher. Thanks for checking today's video out. And actually, I'm just headed down to Grand Lake right now. I'm going to start practicing for the Toyota Series tournament that is down at Grand Lake this week. And I want to take a few minutes to do the video before I get out on the water. Today, what I want to talk about is sort of just an overall viewpoint of mine about sort of what the path is, the steps that's required to become a better angler all the way around. And I'm sort of going to, tell you from my perspective, because it's evolved. It's like the things that allowed you to become a good angler back when I started are completely different than they are right now. I mean, back when I started, in the 70s, we didn't have access to information like we do now. I mean, the only thing that we had was a few fishing magazines, and there were some handful of fishing shows on TV, like Harold Inslee and Virgil Ward. But most of the time, those guys were fishing like, up north in Canada and stuff. They weren't really on public bodies of water. So really, back when I started, it was such a slow process, because if you didn't actually go fishing with somebody that knew what to do, it took you forever to learn. I mean, I didn't really have a lot of people to go fishing with, so I had to learn from reading magazines. And back in the 70s, guys, most of the magazines, the articles on fishing that were in the magazines were written by outdoor writers. They didn't talk to experts very often or talk to pros. A lot of the outdoor writers back in the 70s, they thought that they were, the main source as far as to get in fishing information. So, it was just very difficult to learn quickly back then. So anyway, let's talk a little about in 2023 what you can do to elevate your success quickly. The number one thing, guys, is you have to take advantage of social media, and YouTube like this is probably the best source to learn about anything about fishing. I mean, you can punch any question you have about fishing into a YouTube video. Sorry about my throat. I'm still recovering from that food poisoning and all the throwing up a couple days ago. But you can basically see in real time, whether on the water or just people talking about it, any question that you have in fishing. It is absolutely, arguably, the number one source to quickly learn about fishing. I mean, guys, you can spend an hour surfing YouTube videos on fishing and learn more than it took me a decade to learn 40 years ago. It's just it cuts off the learning curve so much. It's incredible. But that being said, that's only going to help you so much. The next thing that you have to do is you have to activate that information. And the only way that you can activate that information is through time on the water. Now, one of the things that I would highly suggest that will help you is if once you start, gaining knowledge, through social media and through YouTube and reading about fishing, then try to find somebody that's a good fisherman or that has some experience in fishing, and try to go fishing with them. Try to have them show you in person what it means to, when somebody's talking about flipping a jig underneath the boat dock, if you can be in the boat with somebody and have them actually show you exactly what that is, that goes a long way to tying the dots together as far as the information you've learned about and actually seeing it in person. And the next thing that you have to do on that, guys, is you're going to have to make a commitment to sort of practice and spend time fishing yourself, because what happens is you can't fish the way that somebody else fishes. Everybody has a style and approach to fishing that's unique to themselves, and if you try to copy or duplicate some other person the way they fish, you're going to be limited in how quick and how fast you grow. So what you can do is you can take that information, just like you do in school or whatever, and then use it as sort of like a foundation to build upon your own style. And once you get out on the water and once you start fishing, you'll find things that you like to do. You'll find things that you're good at. You'll experiment in ways that nobody else experiments. And that's one of the cool things about fishing, because fishing is so much about creativity and experimentation. I mean, I can sit here on the channel, I can tell you guys what should work or what's worked for me, But there's a limitation to that because I haven't tried everything myself. And there's so much out there that, works in fishing that I'm not even aware of. Let me give you guys a good example here, what I'm talking about. I had this one color of crankbait that I've had for like 35 years and I've caught a lot of fish on. And I lost that crankbait, but before I did, I took a picture of it. It was a certain color. And I tried to find somebody that would paint this one color of crankbait. And nobody could paint it. It's like it had a bunch of chrome on it. And nobody knew how to paint chrome. So anyway, I got a letter or a message from one guy that said, yeah, I can paint that. So I sent him 3 or 4 of my crankbaits and had him paint them, and he sent them back to me, and they weren't anything like I wanted. They were the ugliest looking crankbaits I have ever seen. It looked like something a third grader, or not even a third grader, it looked like something a 4-year-old would paint if you gave him some fingernail polish and some markers. It was terrible looking. And I was out fishing one day 3 or 4 years ago at Table Rock, and I just said, what the heck, I'm just going to try this thing. I've got 3 or 4 of them. Guys, I started ripping them on the thing. It was the ugliest looking color you have ever seen. I never would have thrown in a million years, and it worked. So the point is remember that in your own fishing. If you got something, an idea that you think is going to work, don't hesitate to give it a try. That's another way that you can elevate your success real quick and become a better angler. But anyway, guys, mainly just spend a lot of time on YouTube, spend a lot of time reading about it, try to find somebody that knows what they're doing in fishing, go fishing with them, and it's like anything else, just put in the dirt time and you'll get better at it. So anyway, guys, much appreciated y'all tuning into the video. I'm going to get down here and see if I can catch some fish, and we'll talk later.